Honoring those who help support former inmates re-entering the community. Hope for Prisoners held its annual gala tonight. The nonprofit invited leaders, advocates, and other organizations to a night of second chances at Red Rock Resort tonight. Several organizations received awards for their help and hope for the prisoners' mission. The event also featured a keynote from the Deputy Director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, a man who was once incarcerated himself. The founder of Hope for Prisoners says sharing those success stories shows former inmates change is possible.
Rarely do we hear the stories of the people who have done 10, 15 years in prison, been out 10, 15, 20 years, and not only have they never reoffended, they're living levels of life that most people only dream of.
The gala also serves as the organization's largest fundraiser of the year. Hope for Prisoners helps find work, housing, and transportation for inmates leaving prison. It also helps them reunite with their families and provides long-term support and mentorship.